Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Pilots of the Caribbean podcast, where we talk about everything drones, how they're being used in the Caribbean, and the people that use them. You can find this podcast on anywhere you get audio podcasts, and its video version will be on YouTube. You can also contact us at www.pilotsofthecaribbeanpod.com. That is the website. There's a contact form there as well. So, feel free to get in contact if there's anything you want to talk about, share, bring to us for the news episode, anything like that. We'll be launching a frequently asked drone questions segment on YouTube. So it'll be one question being answered per video. So if you have a drone question that you would like answered, please feel free, get in contact. Like I said, social media, email, website, and I'll be sure to get your question answered. Now, on to today's episode. And this week, we head to the Cayman Islands. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Mr. Omari Rankin of the Cayman Drone Company. Hi, Omari. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming on the podcast today, man. How are you going?
Good, Alan. Glad you having me.
That's a problem, man.
Just over here busy working. When you called me earlier today, I was in the middle of fighting with a project because down here, the issue is now we're getting Christmas breeze and It's a lot. So I was fighting winds today trying to get that project done, but had a lot of technical difficulties.
You got through?
Most of it. I was trying to do a mapping project, but the wind was just too strong and blowing the drone back and forth. So we'll have to try and reschedule for tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. All right. No problem. So, Omari, take me back to the beginning. How did you get started into drones?
Well, I guess I used to work for Digicel. So I was a senior engineer for Digicel for 15 years. And it just got to the point where it was monotonous and it was just boring me and too much work, way too much work. So I said, you know what, let me try and find another avenue. Back then I was into some amateur photography. So I had some cameras and I was fooling around with them. And then I think it was actually my cousin that sent me one of the first DJI videos. And I was sitting at work watching this video and seeing the quality of the drone and the capabilities. And I was like, that it just consumed me. I was like, wow, this is a lot more. I found it a lot more interesting than just having a camera. So I can now have a camera and a toy to play with. Great. So I bought it, started messing with it, and at that time, I think it was just two other people in it at that time. So I was the third person coming into it. But one of the other guys he had a full-time job and he was trying to do the drone thing on the side. So, mostly he could only do weekends, and that was obviously a hindrance to his business.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, let me look into this seriously. And I was messing around with my first drone, and then an opportunity came up. Digicel said they were downsizing and they were giving packages to leave. I said, well, here's an opportunity. It was a big risk because the business was not set up, nothing. I just had a drone that I was messed around with now and again, and I just said, you know what, let me take a chance on this. And I took the package, left Digicel, and started the business. I'm not gonna lie, the first 2 years were rough. So struggled through that, but got through it and just got hooked on it, bro. Like, loved it and just started investing in the business. And 7 years later, still going strong.
Oh, 7 years. Congrats on that, man. And for those that would have missed it in the intro, you are the CEO of the Cayman Drone Company.
Yes.
Nice. So you started on is it the Phantom, you said?
I actually started out with the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro.
Original Mavic Pro, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I started on, and then I eventually got the Mavic 2 Pro, and then got the Inspire 2.
Big jump, eh?
Well, I realized a lot of the movie production companies were coming down here and, asking for 5K filming. So the Mavic wasn't going to provide that. So I made the investment in the Inspire, but actually Inspire 2 is what I got. And I must say it's paid off. I've done some great filming for some movie companies that came down here to do some filming, and it's definitely a completely different vibe from everyday filming, because filming on a movie set is wild. It's great, and I mean the pay is good, so can't complain.
You shot for anything that you might be familiar with?
The last two I did at the end of last year, there was a reality TV show down here that they were doing, Secrets in Paradise, or some reality show that they shot down here.
Yeah, not much of a reality TV show person myself.
Yeah, listen, they said it was a job and they were paying. I said, no, I'm on it.
Nice.
And then there was The Baker with, I think that had Nicolas Cage and another guy in it. Yeah. That was the biggest one I did recently.
Was it like working on an actual movie production that set the pace, working with directors, DPs?
Listen, it has its ups and its downs. I mean, it's crazy because they'll give you one script in the morning. Oh, this is what we want you to do. You get to set. You say you're there prepared for this, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, you scrap that. We're doing something else. So you need to set up and get this done. And I'm like, I didn't come prepared for this. You got to give me time to get it done. But they're like, listen, don't worry about that. Get your stuff together. We need to go film. So it's pretty hectic when it's on. But then, there's days where they say, all right, we need a full day of filming. I said, all right, they'll pay the day rate, and I'll go sit down on set from 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll just literally be there, sitting on set, doing nothing. And then 3 o'clock, they'll be like, all right, we need drone filming. Come get this done. And I film for 30 minutes, an hour, and they're like, all right, that's all we need. Good, thanks. So, I mean, getting paid for a whole day for doing an hour of filming, I really can't complain about that.
Yeah.
But when it's on and they're in the middle and changing and making different decisions, and it gets quite a lot.
Can only imagine. Yeah, I heard this could be a little stressful.
Trust me.
So I did an interview with a guy named Derek Gallon from Dominica, and he said that one of the requirements that some of the film crews that came to Dominica would have had from him was that some of them would have wanted a drone license. Does Cayman Islands have a drone license?
Yes. And I'm assuming it's the same throughout the other countries, but DJI has their, if you're using a DJI drone, they have their geofencing set up in the software.
Right.
So, like here, I think it's a 3-kilometer radius around the airport. And I mean, Cayman is small. So that takes up a third of the island. And that is in the center of the island. So that's where everything is going on. So, I mean, if you're using a DJI drone and you don't have a license, then you're not going to be able to operate in those areas.
Okay. And what's the process to get your license?
Now it is easier. When I first got my license, there was no training or anything down here available. So I actually had to pay to go to the States to do a training course over in Florida. And then once I passed that, I came back with the certificate for it. Right. And then I had to take the Cayman equivalent of the FAA exam down here.
Okay.
And then once I passed that, then you get your drone license.
So you have to have your 107 first and then come back to Cayman.
No, just a certificate of completing the FAA course.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then you don't need to take the exam. You come back here and then take the equivalent exam down here.
Okay, so just theory exam, no any practical in it?
No practical in it.
Okay. And that's still the process now?
Well, now the police force down here is in control of the drone training course. So you go to them, they have a course, you take the course with them, and then you take the civil aviation test. And then once you pass that, then you get your license. I'm not sure how it is over there or other places, because my cousin in the States is also a commercial drone pilot, and the fees over there are minimal compared to what they charge us down here.
Yeah.
Because the setup, it is for the initial fee and setup, administration fee.
Right.
It's $2,500, and then every
was that in US?
$2,500 is about 3,000 US.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then every year to renew your license, it's 1,000 CI. So that's about 1,200 US every year to renew the license.
Jeez. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and that's just what they refer to as administrative fees. Wow. Okay.
It's crazy down there.
Yeah, well, no, but we don't have an official license. Our drone regulation speaks to one. No, we don't have one. So if you read the regulations, it speaks to one, but we don't have one that is implemented. But some of the countries, so like I work primarily in oil and gas, so a lot of the companies that we do work for recognize the 107, but Trinidad itself doesn't have an official drone license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they can do what Cayman did, because there is a drone requirement and a drone theory that you have to know, but it is exactly the same as a commercial airline pilot. So we have to know the exact same information as a commercial airline pilot in order to get our license.
Oh, that's interesting. So does that then translate as smaller amount of commercial operators in Cayman Islands?
Yes. A lot of people won't do it, because I mean, you can still operate here, but once you're not in the restricted area, you can still buy a drone and operate. So most of the time, like I have some clients that like some real estate clients, when they're doing real estate shooting, they'll just get somebody with a drone to go and shoot it if it's not in the restricted area. But then if it's in the restricted area and they need a license, then they'll give me a call to come and shoot it.
Okay. And what about if you're like a tourist visiting Cayman Islands walking with a drone? What's the process for that?
You can fly in the non-restricted zone, but it is illegal to fly within the restricted zone. So if you have a drone that is not a DJI and fly it in the restricted zone and you are caught, it is prosecutable.
Okay, understood. Okay.
But like one of the services I offer is license rental or pilot in command. So if someone comes down and they want to film with their own drone, then I would rent them my license, but then I would have to be there supervising the shoot.
Right.
And then I would register their drone under my license on the DJI site so that they can fly.
Okay. So it's kind of similar to like the 107 where if you're within a certain distance, they can operate under your license kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's some of the other services that you offer?
So you do with Cayman being such a small market, it's hard to focus on one thing because, there's only so many people that are going to need that service. So we offer a range of services. I also have a thermal drone. So I do thermal inspections, search and rescue with that. I do, like I said, the filming with the 5K filming with the Inspire 2. Do mapping. I do a lot of construction work. So like mapping sites. And I also do project progression. So like, a developer will have a site that they're building. And depending on what schedule they're looking for, they'll want the entire build of the site documented. So some want me to come every week. Some want me to come once a month. So basically I go there and have a set of shots that I try to get every time I go to the site. And then at the end of it, put together a complete video so that they can see a complete progression of the site from an aerial perspective. Okay. Yeah.
So with your services what does your fleet look like? So you have a thermal drone, you have the Inspire 2. What's the thermal and is there anything else that you're flying?
Yeah, so I still have the original Maverick Pro. I use her for training. So if anybody's looking for training, I offer flight training services.
Okay.
So I'll use that to make them train on so that if there's an incident, then, not too much of a loss. And then I have two Mavic, 2 drones. They're my daily workhorse. So I try to have a backup in case one goes down because they do 80% of my work. Then there's the Inspire 2 that does the 5K filming. And then there's the thermal drone, which is a Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the 4 drones that I have.
You have a nice fleet, man.
Yeah, I trying to get the Mavic 3 now because the Mavic 2 is almost obsolete.
Yeah.
Mavic 4 is coming out at the beginning of next year, so I'm kind of behind right now.
But is there a large drone market in Cayman Islands?
Yes, because there's probably still three companies here that do like not full range, but offer a variety of services other than just photography.
Mm.
A lot of photographers down here have drones that they just take aerial photos with for their clients and stuff, but only three of us that offer like commercial services. But as far as I know, all three of us are doing well. So there's enough out there to keep three of us going. So the market is there, but the issue I find down here is that Cayman is behind time with technological advancements, because I have done a number of presentations to businesses, like the utility company down here. I did a presentation to them. They wanted to do like a full mock-up of their power lines and stuff, and create like a digital inventory of all their assets and stuff. And I did a presentation for them and spent a lot of time putting together that presentation. Went out and did on-site presentation to show them how it would work and how it would minimize the time it would take for them to get these things done using a drone, rather than having 2 or 3 people in a bucket truck going to take pictures. And I did the full presentation, and at the end of it, they basically just said, yeah, this is nice, but we've been doing it this way all this time and it works. So, we're just going to stick with this.
Yeah.
So it is still, I'm breaking into it, but there is still a lot of hesitance to move forward with the full capabilities that drones can provide.
Yeah, we find that all over, because we have a lot of that here too. And some of it comes from the regulation side, and a lot of it comes from, the same thing, the mentality of the people that have to receive it, not at the point of seeing this as something more than this going to take away somebody's job or stop somebody from doing how they're doing it right now, because that's what they like and that's what they're accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy, it's a work in progress all around, because even in some of our different industries that could benefit tremendously from drones, like agriculture or crop spraying, we are not allowed to own crop sprayers in Trinidad.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's against the regulation. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what is in that down here, because there's, even though we've opened up a lot to drones, there's still a lot of red tape down here. Right now, I am in the process of working with a friend of mine. He owns a industrial cleaning company. And he just bought a pressure washing drone. So we are trying to work now to get all the necessary license and documents and everything else to try and get this up and operating. The drone has been here for almost a month now, and we're still filling out paperwork and jumping through hoops trying to get everything up and running so that we can actually start operating the drone.
But is there, or are they giving you a pathway to follow, or you just kind of have to, okay, we complete this, now what kind of thing?
It is them trying to figure out what the pathway is while trying to give it to us at the same time. So that is where it is.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, pressure. Ew. But, well, you're going to be the first, you'll be the test pilot of that project. And every time you do it again after that, hopefully it gets easier.
You would hope.
Hopefully.
You would hope.
Oh, yes. Hey, I tell you congratulations, because when I was doing some research for this conversation, I saw that you won Best of Cayman Islands 2023 in the category of photography.
Yes.
What was that like?
unexpected, I must say, because we have some amazing photographers down here, and I don't want to take anything away from them because they do some amazing work.
Mm.
But I just think what really captivated people was, the different perspective that you can get from drones. Like I have two amazing photos of the two smaller islands that we have as part of Cayman. I was able to get shots of the entire island. So those shots were taken from 1,000 feet up.
Okay.
And got the entire island in it. And those shots are even more red tape and paperwork to go through because the flight ceiling that you're allowed is 400 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So to go above that, then that's a whole new kettle of fish. And they're not so bad with it, but like that first time trying to convince them, I need to get this done. I need to go up 1,000 feet, or they didn't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. So I had to get through that. But now they've become more accustomed to it, and whenever I need those kind of flights, I just have to put in the proper notification ahead of time so that they can plan it into the schedule.
Okay.
But yeah, it's getting there, but there's still a lot of ironing out that they need to do before we get.
So this is a competition that you have to make a submission for, not one of those where they, see your shots or somebody suggests.
But you have to get, you have to be nominated.
Okay.
So someone saw my work and nominated me, and I got in the contest, and then from there it was just the most votes.
Okay.
And I was able to get it. Like I said, I was surprised, badly surprised, but surprised, and very grateful that people out there are appreciating my work.
Nice, man. You have anything in line for them this year?
I got nominated again this year, but did not place this year.
Okay.
So I think, like I said, the photographers here are amazing. So I did not feel in a way that I did not place because I know I have this competition.
Yeah. Hey. I saw also that you have a sister company.
Yes. So views.ky is something that has been sitting on the back burner for a while. I just have a lot of things going on right now, but it's something that I'm trying to hopefully get off the ground next year. Mm-hmm. So what I want to start doing is like those photos of like the all island shots and stuff, like my best shots. I want to start printing them on metal or acrylic and do like large pictures to start selling. And that is what it'll be. Views of Cayman, therefore views.ky.
KY. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So based on how the drone industry is now in Cayman, what do you want to see for it going forward?
I'm just hoping that there's more. There's just so much regulation and red tape, yet there seems to be no enforcement of it. So sometimes it'll be no problem, they'll let you do whatever. But then like I'll be some shoots, I'll be out there operating and a police cross and he'll stop and ask me 100 questions. Why I'm here? What am I doing? Am I licensed? So I have to go through the whole rigmarole of him. And then, there's other people out there that are just flying it willy-nilly. I think probably about 2 years ago now, there was actually an incident where someone hit the police helicopter with a drone. So, yeah, I just think they need more enforcement. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that, but I mean, it's just as simple as someone going into a store, buying a drone, even if it's a parent buying a drone for a child. So there's a 10-year-old out there flying a drone, doing whatever they want to do with it.
Yeah.
Because while we have the license and should have more abilities and able to do more things with the license, especially with it being so expensive, you would think they would cater more to us and try and minimize the recreational use of drones. But I mean, that down here, you buy a drone, you take it out, and you're basically free to do whatever you want to do with it. So there's incidents of, at the hotels, there'll be people flying drones over the pool, trying to look down into women's bathing suits and stuff. So there are people doing the foolishness. And then when I go there to do an actual job for a customer, then security comes and bites me up because, you're not supposed to be flying drones and looking at people. And I said, boss, I'm here doing a job. I have a license. I'm supposed to be here doing this, but I can't stop the other people that are just out there doing foolishness. So we get a lot of bad rep for the other people that are out there just flying wild without a license.
Well, hopefully somebody who could make that change for you in Cayman Islands listening to this. And
I'm not expecting too much out of that, but I hope it is coming.
Hey, well, what's next in what do you have planned for the Cayman Drone Company next?
That is a good question. I was just talking to a friend of mine today. I said, it is now looking for that next step, the next exciting idea. So just looking at what drones they're coming out with and seeing what can be done within the box that we're allowed to work in. I'm hoping that I can, next year, I'm going to try and do a lot more marketing again to try and get the word out there of the capabilities of drones that, what they can be used for, how they can be used, who can use them, why, when, where, and just educate the population more. Because even now, I'll be out doing a job and someone will walk by and stop me. In the middle of the job, they want to have these big conversations. So I try not to be rude. I try to talk to them and say, all right, I'm operating, but I'll try and answer some of the questions. And they're, they didn't know that anyone was down here flying drones, and they didn't know that drones could do this and that. And I don't know how to reach these people because I have marketed on almost every platform I can think of down here. So I have put it out there. I have been to trade shows. I've had booths at trade shows trying to get it out there and, show the capabilities. But I clearly need to do more marketing. So next year, it's back to marketing, trying to get it out there and hopefully at the same time find the next great thing that I can offer.
Okay. So best of luck with that, man, and I hope it works out in a way that you wanted to. So I have I have a question that I was asked that I told myself I'm going to ask every guest that I have on going forward. So the question is, what is one thing you wish you knew about the drone industry before you chose it as a career?
I guess the relative cost of the equipment. Like
Okay.
I knew it was going to be pricey as you get into the more advanced drones,
Yeah.
but so some of the prices I've seen in those drones, like I work with a guy out of Arizona, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
He came down, and he is the one that taught me the orthomosaic mapping. So I was working with him. He had come down to do a job and wasn't able to get a license. So because they offer civil aviation down here was offering temporary licenses. So, anybody could come down here with a drone license and, they would just charge them a minimal fee and they would be able to fly down here. So I had a lot of pushback on civil aviation. I was like, you have qualified drone pilots here. There's no need to be bringing in people from overseas to do these things when there's local talent here. So they kind of met us halfway, and now they make it a little more stringent in order to get an independent drone license, an independent temporary drone license. So a lot more often now when these companies come down here to do drone work, they will at least come to me, and I'm assuming other guys, to do the license rental to get some of the money in the economy instead of, just shipping it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was working with, he had some equipment, a LiDAR drone. So I have been on the fence about LiDAR because that is probably the next big step in drone technology. But the thing now, I just don't know if there's the market for it here.
Yeah, and isn't cheap.
That is a very specialized service, and he told me he was paying 100, 150 grand for his drones, and I was like, that is a large investment for me to not be sure that I am going to make back that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone actually called me. I have a engineering firm as a client. I do a lot of their work for them. And they actually asked me about it the other day. One of their clients was looking for LiDAR drone work. But in my 7 years of operation, that is the first person that has requested LiDAR technology. So yeah, the risk is just too big, and I am just not sure that it is something that I want to venture into.
Yeah, tough to justify it if that's the case.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I just have one more question, and that would be, what, if any, piece of advice do you have for anybody looking at you and would like to be in the industry that you're in? They share similar passion for photography, maybe videography, and want to add drones to it, or a young person coming up that wants to get into it.
I actually have a little guy now that I'm working with, trying to get him to shadow me, because I told him, this is great. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it for. So I would at least have somebody coming up that I can pass it on to. it's a lot of work. People just see it and they think, oh well, ooh, that's cool. You went and bought a drone. You have a toy that you're flying with. That must be amazing. You get to fly a drone every day.
Yeah.
And that it is fun. That's the positive part. A positive part of it, but there's also a lot that comes with that. People see me out there flying the drone, and that is the fun part they see. But after I am out shooting for 3-4 hours, they don't see the nights upon nights that I have to come home to do editing and trying to get it out to the customer because, you did it today. The customer wants it tomorrow. It just doesn't work like that. It takes a lot more to put things together for what the customers want, and it's always not as simple as going out and getting the footage, giving it to the customer, getting paid like that. That is a good day.
Yeah.
I wish all of my jobs would be like that. But when you have those particular customers and they want this, they're certain they want this. You go out there, you do it, you bring it back for them, present it to them. Oh, well, it might have been better if it was done this way. But I'm just trying to give you what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And you give suggestions. And they're like, oh, no. I definitely want it this way. And then when they get it, they realize that's not how they want it. And then it's the expectation of, oh, well, this isn't what I wanted, so you need to go back and get it done for me the right way. No, that's now a completely different job because I did it how you wanted it. Now you don't want it. So, that is gone. This is a new job, and I'm going to have to charge you to go back out there to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably one of the most difficult parts of it is working with the customer, trying to make sure that the customer is happy and they're getting what they want instead of what they think they want, because they're never sure of what they actually want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hey, Omari, thank you very much, man. Before I let you head out, because I know you're busy, if anybody else looking to get in contact with you, how could they reach out and talk to you?
So the website is www.caymandronecompany.com. On the About Us page, I think there is, or actually I think it might be a contact page. I think there's a contact page. And then there's a site on there. You can just email us. It'll come directly to me. We also have the social media page on Instagram and Facebook, which is at Cayman Drone Company. Either of those ways you can reach out to me and I will definitely get back to you. If not, I've recently taken on a virtual assistant, so we're in between trying to organize things and trying to share some of the load with her to make this work, because sometimes it's up and down depending on the weather, depending on time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes business is crazy, sometimes business is slow, but in those crazy times I just don't have enough time to shoot, edit, do admin, send out invoices, and it gets to be quite a lot. But as I try to answer the requests on the website as soon as possible, and so if anyone contacts me through either of those avenues, then we'll be sure to get back to them.
Cool. Thanks very much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Omari Rankin of Cayman Drone Company. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Yeah, man.
Thank you, Bob.
Take care.
Take care.